Hi, beautiful. Welcome. I just want to introduce the Love Yourself Light E-Guide program for you to use. This program is something that I felt so inspired to share with you. When I created it, I came to it because when I was introduced to spirituality and when I was introduced to this beautiful journey, and I started to go through the process and I started journaling and I started meditating and I started card pulling, I found that as I was letting go of that emotional and mindful heaviness, my physical weight started to shed off. It was like I was shedding the heavy and creating this lightness. And I really identified with that word light and lightness because it was changing my life. I no longer had this heaviness of this is the way you have to be. And if you're not perfect, you're not good enough. And so I took resources from all of my favorite personal development things that really helped me achieve that, and then I put it into one e-guide. Now, this e-guide is 6 weeks. It's 6 weeks to find emotional and physical lightness. I originally created it for weight loss, for body image, but I have since kind of tweaked it so that you can apply it to heaviness in all forms. Heaviness doesn't have to be just physical weight. It could be anxiety. It could be depression. It could be a bad habit like smoking or drinking. Your heaviness is going to be something that's personal to you. So for me, my heaviness was physical weight, but yours could be anxiety and depression. So this guide could be used for many different things. So go through the introduction, get the things you need. I love using heavy cardstock paper, beautiful paper. I love using permanent markers. I have them all over my desk. I have this beautiful wall of my favorite colors of permanent marker where I create my intentions, I create my goals. Get a journal. It doesn't need to be expensive, but it does need to be beautiful and you need to love it. Read through the introduction and then set some intentions to show up a couple times a week to tackle this. Now, what I found was the 6 weeks, the women who did this program, I don't think I will ever run this program again. The women who did this program found that 6 weeks was too short. So if you're finding that this is heavy work, and it is heavy work, it's not going to be hard work. It's not physically hard. Like I'm not going to have you running laps or doing push-ups, but it's emotionally heavy. You're going to feel drained. So if you need to stretch this over 7, 8, 10, 12 weeks, that's okay. Take your time with this because as we move into this process of lightness, we're moving away from the expectation of arrival. In diet culture or how-to culture, right? We all love how-tos in this century or whatever. In that culture, there's always this sense of arrival, right? If I eat clean for 21 days in a row, I will arrive at that weight. But then you get there and you're still not happy, right? And so when we shed the idea of arrival, that when we get somewhere, we're going to be happy, and we embrace the idea that if we start to be happy, we start to create this lightness, the weight will shed, the anxiety will shed. You won't want to smoke anymore. So as you move through this, know that you're not going to arrive, because when you're done this guide, you're going to want to work on something else. And you're going to keep wanting to work on yourself. You're going to get addicted to it. And then you're going to be like me and read 4 personal development books a week. So the first week, I would say, is probably one of the heaviest weeks. We really want to look at what we truly, truly want. And losing 50 pounds is not generally what we really want. Being happier or not depressed is not really what we want. We want to go for feelings, right? You want to lose that weight to feel confident, to feel deserving, to feel worthy of love, to feel like you're strong enough to play with your kids. You really want to create that why. And I give you some tips as to creating those feelings, because you want to start feeling those feelings before you reach them. Because you're going to quit if you're not getting that gratification of moving towards them feeling happier. For me, I wanted to feel beautiful, but I was wearing sweatpants, not showering for a week at a time, never wearing makeup, never brushing my hair. I could feel beautiful by doing my hair and makeup and wearing nice clothes. It wasn't just the weight. So read through some of the examples of how I help you move through those. Then we're going to talk about your current relationship with food. This relationship could be with other things, right? Is it your current relationship with happiness? Is it your current relationship with alcohol? Is it your current relationship with sleep? So it all depends on what you're working toward. You're going to write some letters. When you write letters, I always encourage you to decide at the end what you want to do with the letter. Sometimes you want to burn it. If you have let go of so much and you've forgiven, say, food, you can burn it. Release that to the universe. Surrender that to the universe and be, I'm okay with you taking that from me. Sometimes you want to keep it. I know I wrote a really personal letter to somebody in my life who I loved very much, and at the end they really hurt me and they died, and I never got the chance to tell them how I truly felt. And I wrote this letter and I thought it was going to be all hate. And the first 3 pages were definitely all hate. And then at the end I realized that even though I was so hurt and angry, I still had love for this person. And I felt really, really called to keep that letter. So do what feels right with the letters. Do what feels right with the journal art entries, right? Journaling doesn't have to be exactly what it is here. Maybe it's bullet points. Maybe it's just a couple lines. Maybe it's a novel. Do what feels good. Then we move into our relationship with food, or the other thing, the courage to be yourself, rewriting our narrative, learning how when we accept our narrative and embrace our narrative, that's when we can rewrite our story. It's when we shove down all of those things that happen to us, all that bullying, all that not being good enough for certain people. When we shove that down with food or our other thing, we don't get to rewrite it. But when we let it come up and we own our narrative, when we own those things, it doesn't have to be publicly, even if we just own them to ourselves. Say, that happened to me and it hurt. And I didn't grieve my pain then. And I let it build up and create this limiting belief that I wasn't good enough. When we own it, then we have the ability to rewrite our story. So take that. And then the last week is this beautiful journey of creating your own spiritual journey, your own spiritual ritual, so that you can continue to move forward in this process of personal growth and development. So you can move forward in continuing to find those limiting beliefs and rewrite them. So thank you for joining me on this journey. I am here whenever you need. I hope that this e-guide brings you so much enlightenment and lightness, because this process really did change my life. And I know that it can change yours too if you're willing to put the work in. So namaste. Again, my name is Jess Anderson. I'm a mindset coach that helps women break through their limiting beliefs around body image, around worthiness, and their deservingness of the life that they truly deserve. So have a great day, good luck, and don't be afraid to reach out.